Hi, my name is Gil Lee, Professor, Department of Architecture, Boston University, Korea. I'm very happy to introduce my research paper titled is The Basic Study for Application of Behavior Setting Concept to Usual Behavior Simulation for a Typical Architectural Design. I would like to let you know the background of this research. We focus on the atypical means not Euclidean, so not box shaped buildings. We focus on design process of the atypical design. So, atypically shaped buildings are becoming increasingly popular in the modern society. We can easily see the atypical, not the non-box shaped buildings nowadays. The ability to design a typical building is invaluable, very important for the architect. So, in the university design schools, the professor must teach the student to get this kind of ability to design a typical building, a typical shapes. The design process of a typical building is somewhat different from the traditional architecture. It requires equally unusual form that create design. Like the below the image, a typical buildings have some kind of curved shapes and not traditional or not conventional shapes. So architect more focus on the to design the typical shapes. Thus, when designing a typical building, the architect can overlook users' convenience and safety, which are generally significant standards for evaluating the value of the building. So, building most important the factor to for the standard of the evaluate the building is for human convenience. So when architect design the atypical shapes, sometimes they ignore some the very important things of human factors. So that is kind of some problem of a typical design process. So existing software for architecture or typical architectural design is, for example, Digital Project, Grasshopper, Dynamo, cannot support human behaviors in the typical building environment. These tools is kind of the existing software to support a typical architectural design. So some image of under below is the human behavior in atypical shaped buildings. It looks like very similar to others, but the problem is architect cannot evaluate the human behavior, human action, reaction of some to the designed architectural shapes. That's the problem. But this tool just supports some architectural shapes to design architectural shape. This tool cannot support the human behavior. This tool does not provide some human behavior simulation. Okay, a typical building and the human behavior simulation. A typical buildings can embody non-Euclidean building form rather than typical modern Euclidean forms. Yes, is mainly composed of curved walls, shapes, stairs, and shores. That's different to see in the modern architects. In the design process of the typical buildings, architect can easily ignore human factors because they normally focus more on the unusual shapes of buildings. So, human behavior simulation. Human behavior simulations technology can allow architects to figure out some problem of some designed shapes with a human agent. Okay. So human behavior simulation is very useful to figure out those problems design or something like that. So human behavior simulation is have some positive effect to problem detection or the enhance the design for the human factors. So this is a kind of whole idea of this project. We're gonna we want to make some kind of human behavior simulation technology for architecture for a typical building design process. Usually, so this is kind of Rhino. Rhino system is a very popular commercial tool for a typical design. So most architects very enjoy to use these tools. We're gonna add some simulation module for the human behavior simulation. With that, okay, with the developed model, the architecture in the middle of some design process, architect evaluate their design result alternatives using the very intelligence agent. This project, we're gonna make some whole frame for the human behavior simulations, and then we're gonna make some intelligence for agents. Intelligence for agents. They behave and the design the atypical buildings. We want several ideas on to the intelligence. Provide some several intelligence to the agent. That is kind of some or idea of this project. This project is the 5th year project. So first year is human behavior simulation platform. We're gonna make platform technology based on typical architectural space design tools. And second and third and fourth years, so we're gonna make some kind of intelligence. So actually, this year is the 4th year, but the result of this paper is for the 3rd years. The 3rd is a human behavior simulation technology regarding the social interaction in the atypical actual space. 2nd year, we already made this human behavior simulation technology that respond to various physical forms of atypical architectural space. And then 3rd year, the second year's Second year we're gonna make some intelligence to the atypical shapes, physical shapes. The third year we're gonna you made intelligence to react to the others. We can call it the social interaction. Okay. Previous works, first year we just survey some places so like DDP, and then we're gonna just take a picture and then analysis their behaviors, and then we're gonna make some the platforms. So we can call the actor beach. Beach is visualization. Actor is actor from actors. So you can call it actor beach. Kind of some add-on program. So this actor beach is based on the Rhino and the Grasshopper. It's very the commercial tool for the typical designs. When you design some the atypical space and then the run on execute this ActoBeach and then put the blocks, function blocks is ActoBeach, and the link to the geometry to ActoBeach, and then run ActoBeach. In real time, the designed shapes put the virtual world, and then put you can put some agents and they behavior freely, and then the architects just the feedback and then get some feedback from some the agents behaviors, and then refine they refine the designs. That's kind of major the first sequence of to use ActoBeach. That is first year works, and then second year works is the how to react, how to the agent to react the atypical shapes is not same, not conventional the shapes. That is kind of some second year. Third year, how to react others, how the agent to react others. That is kind of core goal of these years. Okay. First, we survey some their behaviors and then categorize, and then we can use psychological interpretations, and then we make four category. Representative category for the social behavior in the architectural or typical architectural buildings. There's four. One is self-perception. Second, behavior conformity. In-group bias in the behavior setting. Okay, these four categories. This paper focus on the behavior setting. Okay, behavior setting. So, self-perception is some changing inside, changing mind. Okay, behavior conformity is just follow others, and the in-group biases is kind of some like behavior conformity, but to the group behavior. The behavior setting means like that. Okay. Behavior setting. The patterns of social behaviors in a typical building, so the behavior setting. So individuals and groups to which they belong exist within the physical environment in which their are located, those places eventually affect the dynamics and outcomes of groups. The environment is also a physical space that allows one to act according to the need of simulation. That is the behavioral setting. What's it mean? Behavioral setting means this kind of some shapes the physical environment, setting social behavior. Understand? The physical physical context to read some specific behavior to users, and that's kind of some social interaction. For example, fast food restaurant orders, hospital waiting rooms, university computer labs, company conference rooms, and the park bench or applicable setting. Okay, there's no law, but we make law. You know, the reason is that people behaviors that these space is influenced more by the characteristic of the space than their personal characteristic. Okay, Thus, there's the kind of some assumptions to the place have kind of some affordance to the user's behavior. So we're gonna put the intelligence for to agents. They direct to act, behave in social behavior, especially in this behavior setting. There are two kinds of behavior setting. One is the social normative behavior setting through social normatives expressed in the characteristic of the physical space. Second is the behavior setting caused by surrounding social relation. Okay. The physical space makes social normatives. Social is the ambient rule for the behavior, and then so social relations make some behavior setting. It's kind of strategy. First, it kind of example of behavior setting through social normatives expressed in the characteristic of the physical space. This is the entrance. They make some line, okay, line to the waiting something. Nobody cut in the law, so because they're kind of some social normatives. Most people follow this kind of some rules. Okay, this is kind of some behavior setting through the social normatives. Second, example of behavior setting caused by surrounding social relations. Okay, there are many people in one place. So clouded, it changes when the context of change, this is like this parents, mother or the father want to take care of their children. Okay. When the social context change, they'll depend on their relations, their behavior a little bit changes. We want to call this is kind of example of behavior setting caused by surrounding social relations. The result. This is kind of some very stiff curved the load. Okay, this is the result. That's the development result. So when you design this kind of curves, so the people's going up to some this kind of steep some lows, they help each other. This is kind of some behavior setting. Okay, they express some social normatives caused by the characteristic of physical space. The another result. Okay, this is a kind of some social relations. The three people also have group behavior. Someone is go through the between the peoples. These guys they fall off their legs. Yes, it's kind of some social relationship or kind of result of social relation. The third examples, some people is some people have group behavior like that, and then these people is go around and then turn around to go there. This kind of social relationships, we don't want to some interrupt their behavior. It's kind of social behavior. Okay, conclusions. This is the study on the technology development of the best visual simulation for computer designs, space designs. We developed the agents technology to reproduce social interactions related to behavior setting. Through the development of several prototypes related to behavior setting, it was confirmed that the reproduction of the behavior setting concept can enhance their user simulations. The several some discussion. Further research. Behavior setting concept is highly likely to be produced in the various way depending on the physical situation of the typical space and their situation. Research for the systematization and generalization in the need to realize. And then we need to necessarily advance the agent technology, the social consensus, and in integration and the differentiation with the social interaction skill is required. And then fourth is we have to the analysis the effect of the social behaviors. This is so we developed one the architecture simulates this one real-time manner, and then that's all, and thanks for your attention. Thank you.